All right, hello, how you doing? So now we're at part 2. You think, how can there be a part 2 to my first marathon? Well, there is. So I went back to work and I was hobbling around, miserable, barely able to, move around work. And it was a physical job where I had to walk around. I worked at a nursery and, helped people choose plants and stuff. And it was challenging those first couple days. And for about a week, there was no running or anything like that. And into my second week, I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he said, "Hey, James, I'm training for a marathon. You want to train with me?" And I was thinking, hell no. I just went through the most physically miserable experience of my life. Why would I want to do that? So I said, okay. I don't know what I was thinking, but I have a motto, try something. You got to try something at least once and twice just to make sure you don't like it. So I went ahead and I started training with him, and I made a different plan. He took care of planning the long runs, and I took care of my regular runs during the week. And what I decided to do was run 6 miles a day during the week. But after I ran my 6 miles, I rewarded myself with being able to go play basketball, which I love to do. And let me tell you something interesting. I was in running shape. I could run. And, so I was like, oh, when I get on the court, I'm going to kill it. I'm going to be in great shape. Wrong. Running and sprinting basketball, not the same thing. I was on there for the first couple weeks when I was playing basketball. I would get winded terribly because either, sprinting up court to play defense, sprinting down to play offense. And so it really, I thought I was in great shape. I was in running shape. I just wasn't in basketball shape. So I decided, I'm going to put that back into my repertoire because it's something I enjoy. Why should I take out the things that, I'm enjoying in life? And looking back now, I realized that I was cross-training, and it really did improve me. It made me a better runner. And I also decided to go down to the city college on Tuesdays, I think it was, and they had it wasn't a class, but a group of people got together, and they'd all go and do a slow run, warm up, and then there was a track workout. And so I was doing that during the week too. And on the weekends, my buddy Anthony and I would go for long runs, and we were doing, the standard far, farther, bring it back, far, farther, bring it back method of training, which was, really working. And plus I had support, someone that was there. It's like I was accountable. During the week, I was on my own. But on Sundays for the long run, I had a partner. He had a course for us, and I was, accountable. And so I showed up, and these long runs, they were tough. They were very tough because I had never really run that far. And by the time I got to the marathon, I had run, a 20-miler, which I had never done in the previous training. And so when I did the Los Angeles Marathon, which was in March, and I was doing the San Diego Rock and Roll Marathon, which was in May. So I had, from my last marathon to the next, it was 2 months. And I kind of look back at it now, and I think, that first marathon was really more of a training run than it was a real race, because I clearly hadn't trained enough, and I didn't do, I had no support. And this time I had my buddy Anthony, and he's a big guy. He's, about 6 foot, 220, 230. And we were able to, pretty much keep up with each other on the long runs. And that was really helpful. And we would carry water with us, and it made, a huge difference. So I was able to run around Santa Barbara, do these long distance runs, and then these short runs during the week. And then also I was doing the cross training of basketball, which, you know, unbeknownst to me, was actually really helping me out. So that I was getting more of a complete workout in. And that's one of the things I want to stress to you, is not to give up the things you love when you are training for a marathon. If you love to swim, for God's sakes, you should incorporate swimming into your training. If you love to bike, do it. If you love playing basketball like I used to, do it. I've subsequently stopped playing basketball because I have this mentality where I think I can do that maneuver, but my body doesn't do it anymore, so I end up injuring myself. So I realized I'm just stupid enough to try stuff that I can't do anymore, and I end up getting injured, and I can't run and do the things that I love. So I've pretty much had to give up playing basketball, and now I run, and I love running even more, so that's nice. So that's one of the things I want to stress to you, is don't give up the things you love. If you love doing aerobics or whatever it is that's physical, if you love lifting weights, you don't have to give it up to train for a marathon. You don't. You just need to incorporate it into your workouts. You're going to need to run more and probably cut back more on the things that you do love, but that doesn't mean give them up. It just means to cut back and incorporate them into your training. All right, with that, I'll see you in the next video.